Sponsored by Transitions Empowerment.
Welcome to another episode of Ballin VA. And, like I said before, we keep coming with the heavy hitters. We have Ronnie Wade, Nyree Roberts, Tiffany Bauer, Tony Rutland, Boo Williams. I mean, the list goes on, but this is the first time that we've had anybody from Southwest Virginia. We've been looking for somebody from that, and we got it right here on Ballin VA. My man is he was born in Danville, went to Halifax County High School. He's a Division II All American, back-to-back CIAA Player of the Year, CIAA championship team member, 1989. He's inducted into the Virginia Union Hall of Fame. My man played 10 years in the association for 4 teams. I'm talking about our guest today on Ballin VA, Mr. Terry Davis. Terry, man, we appreciate you coming on the show, my man.
Yes, sir, man. Excited to be here, man. Glory be to God, man. Thanks for having me, man. I'm honored to be out here today, man.
Yes, sir, man. We honored to have you on, man. We just appreciate everything you've done, for the basketball landscape in Virginia. And speaking of that, it all started somewhere, man. It started in Danville where you were born, but talk about growing up in Southwest Virginia and South Boston. What was that like for you growing up over there?
Man, what was it like, man? Well, first of all, man, my mom and dad have 13 brothers and sisters apiece, right? And so, both of my grandparents, they were sharecroppers. And, I grew up on a farm, man, and, very small town, even, outside of South Boston called Java, Virginia. And they have about 500 people in that little area down there, man. And, wow. It's a very small town and, everybody knew everybody down there. And I was raised up, man, in the church, man, and grandma and mom. And, they instilled Christ in me early on. And I'm saying this because this is the whole background of how I made it in my success, man. It's with my grandparents, my mom instilled in me, and they instilled Christ in me early on. And by that faith, I believe that I can make it, even coming out of a little small town like that, and not even having the facilities like these kids have today and have the AAU. I didn't have any of that, man. And I really came from dirt, man. And I built my own basketball court off a bicycle rim and nailed it to the tree, yes, man. And,
I love it, man.
And that's how my game started, man. You know what I mean? It started from the rough. They say yes, started from the bottom. Now I'm here. You know what I mean? And it was real. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. That's the real grind.
I take it for granted, man. I go back home now, man. I pay homage to that tree, man, because that's where it all started, man. It's humble beginnings, man, coming from a little small town like that, man. And God raised somebody up like me to be able to, accomplish some of the things that I did.
Man, that's what's up, man. See, that's what we're talking about, man. Everybody had those humble experiences when they got that rim or, a hula hoop or something that you could pin up to that tree or something out there, or a crate or a milk crate. That's what I'm talking about, man. These kids don't know nothing about that nowadays, So, but yeah, so after you started, what made you take a liking to basketball? Talk about that, or I'm getting stuck right now. But what made you start liking basketball?
Those tobacco fields, man. I told you, dog. I knew one thing, you know what I mean? I had to get out of those tobacco fields, but I don't know if it was around 14 or 15, but 7th, 8th grade, I started to hit this crazy growth spurt, right? Mm-hmm. And I was about 6'4" then. And I was, like I said, working on the farm and going to school. But then my high school coach realized my size. And, he came up and asked me, did I play basketball that I wanted to play? And I really didn't want to play because that's all I knew was the farm and, just played the little basketball I did in the little backyard, but didn't, not know anything about organized basketball or what that meant or anything. But, when my high school coach asked me, like I said, that was in junior high. And he saw I was 6'4", and back then, like I said, you know, most guys that from that area, we didn't have too many big guys. So they were looking at me to come up on varsity in the 8th grade. And so by the 9th grade, I was about 6'6", you know what I mean? And so I went straight to boxing, raw. But, you know, I always had the work ethic, you know, and I was always disciplined and obedient to the coaches. Right. And so, you know, I gave them something to work with. And that's when the passion started for me. You know, I had no other choice being 6'6" and, you know, coming to school every day. And then coach offered me, you know, the opportunity to try out for the team. And then once I got on the team, that was it. You know what I mean? I knew, you know, this was my opportunity to get out of this small town and I can get a scholarship somewhere and earn me a degree and, you know, not even thinking about the NBA, but just, you know, getting out of this small town and being able to make a way and make a life for myself.
Yeah, man. I just want to emphasize, man, what you said, Terry. You said, you know, you wanted to get out of where you were playing and where you grew up, man, and the hard work, and you were obedient to your coaches because you knew that was the only way you were going to get out. You had to do it through hard work, and you had to listen to your coaches and listen to people that helps you, man. And the reason why I bring that up, man, because, you know, every you know, nowadays, you know how it is, Terry. Everybody now is entitled. They feel like just a little bit of work can get them somewhere. But from where you came from, man, I want you to just expand on that, man, how hard it was for you to even get noticed in that small town. I mean, even back then, you know, the big cities still ran basketball, man, the Chicago, the DCs, the New Yorks, you know what I mean? So for you to just put your head down and grind, and that's what me and Larry always talk about on the show, all of our guests, man, we just want everybody to understand that you didn't just wake up and just decide you wanted to play ball. You had to work, man, and you had to have good coaches too, man. Just expand on what it was like, man, just putting your head down and just grinding every day, knowing that if you did that, you were going to be able to make it, man.
Yeah, man. You know, like I said, when I realized, you know, there was opportunity for me, you know, I tell kids today, you know, it wasn't nothing for me to take 1,000 shots today. You know what I mean? Every day. And I wanted the ball to really become a part of my hand. And, you know, one thing my college coach recognized when I got to college, Coach Roberts, he said, you know, I was one of the best jump shooters, big man that he's ever seen. And I mean, I got up on my jump shot, you know, and I look back at some of the pictures and it was amazing. You know, I look at myself, I'm 53 now, but, you know, back there 17, 18 years old, you know, I really got up on the jump shot. And I convert that all back, you know, every day out there on that dirt curb, man, and just so determined and just having that drive, man, and having that passion and just so determined and believing in myself that I can do it. And that's what I try to explain to young kids today. Just believe in you, you know what I mean? Don't let nobody tell you what you can and cannot do. And what happened with me was, you know, my junior year in high school, we were playing Avi Lester, and he was a 7-footer playing down at Roxborough High School. And so Dean Smith and Jim Vivano came to see him to see that game. They heard about me in this big matchup, right? This other kid they supposed to be playing. I was, you know, 6'8", 6'9" at the time. And so this was my opportunity. So we went down there, played Roxborough, and like I said, they had a 7-footer, and he was trying to figure out what school he was going to commit to. And I hadn't been seen, I had no offers or anything, but I knew, you know what I mean? This was my opportunity, and the dog was going to come out of me then, you know what I mean? Everything mom and dad taught me, you understand what I'm saying? I was going to leave it all on the table that night, you understand what I'm saying? Every time I was going to get a chance to dunk, I was going to try to flush on him, right? Because I knew Jim and Dean Smith was in the stand. And by the grace of God, you know, I had a good game and it opened up doors and I became highly recruited in the country, right? And a lot of people don't know it to this day. And out of high school, I signed with the University of Georgia, but I was Prop 48, right?
I didn't know that, man.
Yeah, man, I was Prop 48 because after that game, like I said, every school in the country started writing me down. but I was Prop 48, so I was in between, you know, could I go Division I or I can come right in and play Division II? Right. And so what happened was Coach Robbins came in, and Coach Oakley was just leaving out. He was 4 years ahead of me, and I kind of saw what Virginia Union was doing in the background while I was still looking at all these other schools. Like I said, I had signed a letter of intent with Georgia, but when Coach Robbins came to the house, he was like, yo, man, look, we poor as hell up here at this little school, man. We ain't got shit, but we can give you the opportunity, man, to get you a degree, man, and give you the opportunity to play, right? Okay. But all the other schools, they was like, yo, man, you're going to be the star. You're going to be this, and that. But it was something about Coach, and my mom looked at me, and it was his integrity, and it was just his honesty that I wanted to be a part of Virginia Union. I didn't care at that point. I just wanted to be a part of his program. And that's how I got to Virginia Union.
Well, I got the two-part question. What made you pick Georgia over before you decided to go to Virginia Union? What was the reason that you picked Georgia?
I once again, I love Coach Hugh Durham at the time. And then I loved the university. I loved red, black down there, the Bulldog. It was just, and there was a couple guys down there. I can't remember at the time. I know one of them was forward, the guard down there, but it was a couple of guys
wasn't there yet,
was
Dominique there yet? He wasn't. Dominique Wilkins wasn't there yet, was
he? Nick had just left out.
He left. Okay.
Yeah, and see that was a never selling point. You know what I mean? Nick had left out, and had talked to him a couple times, and like I said, I just love Hugh Durham. I love the university. You know what I mean? I love the red and black and the Bulldog, and I wanted to be a Bulldog, man.
That's crazy.
Was it a culture shock when you? So when you decided, when Georgia didn't work out, you had a Prop 48, and you decided to go to Virginia Union. When the first time that you got to Virginia Union, was that your first time in Richmond, in the city? Was it a culture shock for you?
Nah, I had been to Virginia Union. I had some alumni from my hometown. They would bring us up on the weekend. We'll see games periodically here and there. But once I got there, was it a culture shock? Beyond a culture shock. Because, man, because, you know, I really hadn't looked into it. You know, all I was just thinking was basketball. But, you know, even to the facilities at Virginia Union, like we didn't have hot water in the wintertime and cold water in the summertime in the gym. We don't have heat and air conditioning unit in the Bronco Stevens Hall we played and practiced at.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? And so all those things are unforeseen before you get there. You know what I mean? And then coach throw you these sweatshirts and you practicing in sweatshirts in this cold ass gym. But, you know, and like I said, in the summertime, it's 120 degrees in there. But, you know, when I look back at it, man, the training and just coming from that, you know, hard knocks and just that humbling experience, you know, and just Coach Robbins' program in itself, man, if I had to do it over again, I'd do it the same way. You know what I mean? Because, you know, it was just so many life lessons learned from it, man. So much brotherhood, you know what I mean? Throughout the school, we Virginia Union for life there, man. And like I said, Oakley, you know, he was 4 years ahead of me. He came back every year. And, you know, my freshman year, man, he got me in the weight room. He got me a pillow, man. He told me, don't you leave your ass out of here. You stay in here. And when I come back next year, you better have put on 20 or 30 pounds. And it was just guys like him, man, as a big brother, man. Even when I got in the NBA, you know, I always love to tell a story, man. I was down in Miami and I was trying out for the team, right? And so we all in the locker room, and all the guys, you know, they asking them what's their school, where they come from, this, and that. So Ronnie Cycli, Syracuse, Sherman Douglas, they Syracuse, Benny Thompson, University of Louisville, you know what I mean? Going on down the list, right? So I'm a little shy to say Virginia Union, right? Because, you know, it's small school. I don't even know if they heard of it, right? So I'm like, Virginia Union. So the room got quiet, right? So I really felt embarrassed, right? But then they was like, is that school at Charles Oakley and that little white man there? I was like, yeah, that's it. They was like, yo, man, y'all cats crazy up there, ain't you? Y'all cats don't play. Y'all be knocking guys out and stuff, right? I was like, yeah, that's what we do. Yeah, that's what we do. Look, dog, I came down there with a finesse game. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but I'm telling
man.
you, dog, I rode off Oaks rep, man. And when I got in there, Charles Barkley, Carl Malone, none of those guys, man, they ain't want that type of beef with me because of Oak. You know what I'm saying? Because they knew once they got to New York, they was gonna see Oak. You know what I mean? So they was want to be my friends on the court. I was like, nah, man. And like I said, man, it was just the grace of God, man, that I chose Virginia Union. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was just saying, those are the kind of stories we love, man. I was just thinking, after you, then Ben Wallace came and had that reputation too. You know what I mean? That was crazy too. But back to your college, man. We talked about your accolades. Back-to-back CIAA Player of the Year. I mean, you went to Union knowing the reputation of Oak and Coach Robbins. What was your mindset going to Union? Coming from where you were. Obviously, you said you kind of reminded you where you grew up because you knew you had to grind at Union Division II, but you knew the prestige of Union. But being back-to-back CIAA Player of the Year, man, like that's huge, man. Like, what was your mindset going in when you got to like your freshman, sophomore, your junior year at Union?
Well, like you said, my freshman year coming in, man, honestly, me and Coach Robbins always had a story of, me being a prima donna, man, because, in the back of my mind, I still knew that, I should have been, some Division I program at the University of Georgia. But, I chose Virginia Union. So, my freshman year, I felt, I was a little bigger in the program and he was going to kind of have to cater to me. You understand what I'm saying? Because, I came in with all these accolades to this little small school. And so Coach Robin, right out the back, my freshman year, he wouldn't play me. You understand what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah. So my whole freshman year, he wouldn't play me. So after the season, I was like, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and transfer, man, get out of here because I see, he ain't going to let me do my thing. So I called him, that summer, and I was like, after my freshman year, I was like, Coach, look, man, I before I could say he said, look, don't you call me on the phone. You want to say something to me, you come down to my office and say it to me. You got something to say to me. He knew where I was coming from because I had been talking to a couple of other players. He knew the attitude, you know what I'm saying? You come on down here and talk to me. So I got down to his office. So I said, Coach, man, I decided that, I'm a transfer, man, and Virginia is not for me. He said, I already know it. I got your sorry self a one-way ticket back to South Boston right now.
That sounds just like him too, man. That sounds just like him too.
He do.
Yeah, man. So he called my bluff, right? And so I'm heading back to the dorm like, oh, man, I ain't even talked to mom, nobody about transferring this, and that. So after I thought about it, I knew I really wanted to be there. And I knew that, this guy could really make a difference in my career at the end of the day. And I was, kind of stubborn and, had the big head. And so I called him back and I said, Coach, he said, didn't I tell you to come down and don't call me? So I went down there the second time and he says, yeah, what you got? So I said, Coach, man, I made a mistake, Coach. I just jumped the gun and I really, want to be a part of the growth. Well, listen to this. I didn't get no sleep last night. I wanted some sex with Bun, but I stood up all night long worrying about you leaving the team. I ain't going to have a job, and you going to left the damn team. All right? So in order for you to get back on this team, you are going to run 50 miles for my head. And that's how I got back on the damn team.
Man, you crazy, man. You crazy, bro. You crazy.
So it taught me, man, life lesson learned from that, dog.
But look. No, but look. We laughing, but I want people to understand this though. Terry, yo, I was on the floor too. I was on the floor on that story too. But look, no, but you realized you thought you came in, thought you were bigger than the program, and then you realized I could excel here if I do the right thing or whatever, man. Just get myself together. I mean, dude, you average, you know, like I say, you average 22-11 your senior year. Y'all won the CIAA championship. So when do you start thinking pro, Terry? I know you said you weren't thinking pro from high school to college when you got to Union, but when did you start thinking to yourself, I might have a chance to get to the league?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was after my sophomore year, man. And we was playing in the CIAA championship game. And me and my homeboy, Jamie Waller, always talk about it. He was another reason I came to Virginia Union. Jamie was 2 years ahead of me, and he was from Halifax too. And and so we were playing Norfolk State in the championship game, right? And I never forget it. A rebound came off and it hit the floor, and I caught it. And they had some 7-footer there, whatever. But I caught it and took it off the floor and just flushed it right down, right? And I felt something that I didn't normally feel, right? And like I said, it was the whole, you know what I mean, the crowd and the whole 9 yards. But that dunk, I never forget. I felt it then. I looked after the game. I had 15 and 15, right? As a sophomore. You understand what I'm saying? And so after the game, Charlie Neal and Sam Jones, they was like, yo, this young kid right here, you better keep an eye on him. He might be a sleeper down the road. He might be the next Charles Oakley. So the buzz started jumping out after that game. Then I started like, oh, man, well, I might, you know what I'm saying? Because of the numbers I kind of put up in that championship game, then I couldn't wait to get to my junior year. I knew I was going to take over the conference then. You understand what I'm saying? Once Jamie got out and it was just me, and like I said, had AJ and had Jonathan Walker with me, that point guard that can really play and get me the rock. And I just knew, man, that I was going to come back that summer and work that much more harder. And I was determined that I wanted to be the player of the year. I wanted to be All American. And you know, I still didn't know that I had the talent to make the NBA, but I knew if I had the opportunity that I would try to just, you know, give my best and do all I can do.
Man, how did Coach Robbins prepare you, you know, for that journey, man? You know, man, as far as preparing you for play professionally.
And let me say this real quick, Larry, before you answer that, Terry. You made fun of him earlier, but like he didn't come across as like a soft guy either, though. You know what I mean? He had his little head twisted to the side, he yelling and screaming through all the highlights. I mean, he was looking like an intense coach, man. Like, was he really like that the whole time, or was he always like, you know, what was he like? You know, like Larry said, what was he like playing for him?
Man, we tell today, cause first you could coach, you'd have had assault charges and everything. Put your hands on us, man. You know what I mean? You wouldn't even have a job, dude. You know what I mean?
For real.
Some of the words, some of the things you call us. You know what I mean?
Wow.
For real. Because you would say all kinds of stuff.
Son of a, just get the hell out of here right now. You know what I mean? And honestly,
where was he? Where was he from, Terry? Where was he from? You know?
He's from down Gastonia, North Carolina.
Oh, North Carolina. Okay.
Yeah, so you got to remember he played. He made the Denver Broncos and got cut.
Wow.
Oh wow! No, I never knew that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how he got to Richmond. He made the Denver Broncos, got cut as a flanker, and then he came back to Richmond and played for the semi-pro football team.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and then that's how he got into coaching over at TJ.
TJ,
that's right. Okay.
Yeah, with Keith Valentine there, but he tough. You know, he wasn't just basketball. Because, like I said, he tell a story how he was with the Broncos and he made the last cut. And, you know what I mean? But tough, hard nosed. But I mean, the love that he had for us, man, as players, just as black kids, man, from this white man, it's just. It was unconditional, man. Yeah, coach, he was just hard nosed, man. It's his way or the highway, and he meant it. When I got there, the first thing he told me, he said, "Did you hear the damn story about Charles Oakley?" I said, "What the hell story you talking about Charles Oakley?" Charles, he tried me, and he didn't believe. So he came 10 minutes late for the bus. I said, Charles, next time the bus leaves, you better be on the bus at 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock came, no Charles. The bus pull off. We get down 9 to 5. I hear the players on the basketball. Coach then left Charles. Yes, I did. Because we don't need damn Charles if he think he's bigger than the damn program.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And that's what type. And he meant that, man, from 1 to 12, man. He respect all his players the same way. You know what I mean? It wasn't no, you know what I mean, no buddy or no, preferential treatment for certain guys. He didn't give a damn. You know what I mean? He meant what he meant. No shortcut. Right. You were going to run. If you didn't go to class, he didn't care who you were. You know what I mean? And he was just that type of guy, man. It was all about morals and values with him and principles, man. It wasn't so much about the basketball. Did you help the old lady across the street today? God damn it. What did you do? Did you help somebody? Hell wrong with you. You don't look like you helped a damn body today.
Oh, that's classic. That's classic, bro. But look.
Ooh. Hold on. Before we go to that next one, man, talk about that brotherhood at Union, man.
I was getting ready to say that. Yes, sir.
Oh, but okay, my bad, Wooby.
You good. You good.
The same one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man. It's family, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the first things that I realized when I got there, man. It was just from the whole campus. I mean, there was 2 dogs running up to me, man. And they was like, "You a brother? You need some boots? You want to get online?" I was like, "Man, I come here to play basketball, dude. What are you talking about? I ain't into that." But it then come to the basketball side of it, man. I've never, even on a professional level, and I say this to my dearest heart, I never played with a bunch of guys that had the determination and drive that my teammates had at Virginia Union University.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's I don't know, it's because we all come from the same circumstances. We didn't have much, whatever. But every last one of my teammates, man, when we put on a shirt, we put on that jersey, we put on our sneakers, I can say, man, I can look at every last one of them, man, and we went to war together, man. We ate together, we slept together, man. We gave each other $1. You had $1, I had $1, and we got that burger or we got that beer. Let's keep it real. You understand what I'm saying? Or we got that little bag too. However it did. That's how we were back then. You know what I mean? And the brotherhood is still to this day, man. That's why I said Virginia Union is everything to me, because it went far beyond basketball for me. You know what I mean? The family and friends that was developed there. And like I said, those guys, man, they were so supportive of me. There's no envy and jealousy between us. You know what I mean? And we just loved each other more than we did off the court than we did on the court. You know what I mean? That's why, I won 101 games in my 4 years at Virginia Union.
Preach, bro. Preach, man. Woo! Tell them.
I don't take the credit. That's teammates. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's for sure. That's what it's about.
You know what I mean? That's team. You know what I mean, dog? You don't win 100 games, but your team 101 games in 4 years.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, man. It's a lot of wins.
That's a lot of wins.
That's a lot of dedication and hard work, man.
And while we're talking about it, me and Larry, we're going to have a roundtable discussion on this about a lot of kids going to HBCUs. Now you see, you got the Maker kid going to Howard, and Deion Sanders down at Jackson State get HBCU. And I know you signed with Georgia, and look, man, I know you would have had a ball down in Georgia. You would have made some brothers down there, but do you think it was different, Terry, going to a HBCU? You think the brotherhood was different, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know you're looking back on it. It was just basketball. You had your boys, but I mean, do you think an HBCU made a difference? You know what I mean? Because rather you going to Georgia. I'm not saying you wouldn't have fun there either. You know what I'm saying? But with the climate now about everybody trying to go to a HBCU and changing the culture, you think that was a difference?
Yeah, well, honestly, man, when I came through, as you can see, it was like, how did these HBCUs get all these Scottie Pippens and Dennis Rodmans and Charles Oakleys and
People forgot about that. Yes, sir. You're right, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You're
you
right.
see what I'm saying? We can go on down the list, dog. You know what I'm saying? Joe Dumas. I mean, there was a lot of these cats that went to small schools and black schools. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And see, to be honest, man, a lot of those white schools, they wouldn't even want to touch us because a lot of kids coming from inner city. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It was just this or that. You know what I mean? And you were borderline. You know what I mean? They ain't really want to mess with you either. So, but what I saw, like for myself, and I see my son going to Carolina. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It down there, you just another number. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they don't really recruit. I mean, they don't really care how they recruit. They recruit over top of you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But at Virginia Union, it's honesty, man. It's love. It's support. You know what I'm saying? And even to the professors, you know what I'm saying? They love you, they support you, and they teaching you and preparing you for the future and what to expect in this world, man, and how to represent yourself and carry yourself in this world. And so a lot of those things you wouldn't get from, you know what I mean, the Carolinas. They ain't gonna teach you these things. They care less about instilling these things in you to prepare you for the future as a young black man. You know what I mean?
That's right.
But Virginia Union, even Coach Robbins as a white man, he still knew that. You know what I mean?
Right.
God damn it, I ain't gonna come in McDonald's and you gonna be flipping burgers. How in the hell look you sit back there flipping burgers? You know what I mean?
Oh man, that's true. That's true, bro.
Man,
that's true.
That
man.
is true, man.
Yeah.
So it's the
love. People need
man,
to hear that, man.
That's what. Yeah, man. They need to hear that story, man, because we've been going. Everybody, not just me and Larry, but with our podcast, but everybody been going back and forth with the resurgence of like HBCUs coming back and people picking HBCUs over the Duke Carolinas, and because that Maker kid was like top 20.
Right.
He chose Howard, man. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
And everybody talking about the brotherhood of Duke, but like HBCU to me is more of a brotherhood, you know what I mean? Like you talked about a union, man. So
yeah, because you think about it, man, when we used to go to the games, man, you talk about when the CIAA was Union and Norfolk State and Hampton. When we used to go to the games, man, we used to pile up and go to, to Barco Stevens or go to the Ash Center, man, we got hype. We had our sweatshirts, no matter what school it was a black, the HBCUs, it was an event. We get dressed up, man. We gone to, sit on the side, stand on the floor just to be seen, man. And you're right. And it's so different now that we growing up now, and our kids are trying to go to the white institution. So yeah, you're right, man. That was a good question, Ruby.
But I mean, I don't get it though, dog. They talking about they want to go Division I and everybody. But, with all this social media and stuff, if you can play, what's the problem? You know what I'm saying? Why are you trying to go Division I? Go wherever. You know what I'm saying? You can go HBCU. It's proven. You know what I mean?
That's what we were saying before we came on. It was like, if you don't get Division I scholarship, it's like a death. These kids think it's a death sentence.
Nah,
it's not true. You can go to a Division II school. I mean, it's proven, especially in football. I mean, you can go wherever you want. Basketball too. A lot of people go undrafted and still have great careers. You know what I mean? So,
but I'm just saying, it's so many of these kids, man. They need the attention, like I was saying, from a Coach Robbins in a smaller university and in a smaller setting, instead of going, to these big universities and talking this one and done and all this old bullshit. You know what I mean? I mean, that makes me sick to hear that stuff, man. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And they get there, like I said, and they want to transfer after their freshman year because they unhappy. You know what I mean? By the time they finished, they went to 3 or 4 schools before they did end their career. You know what I mean? And they could have went one spot and been happy. I'm not saying Virginia Union, like I said, it could be Howard, it could be Norfolk State, it could be anywhere. You know what I mean? And it's your choice and where you feel comfortable, but it's just, like I said, what I see today is just the hype, man, of the whole thing, and you know what I mean, and they just so caught up in social media, these kids, and showing that, you know what I mean, I put my hat on, I went to Carolina or I went to Kentucky or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day, what they doing for you? You know what I'm saying? You just another, you know what I'm saying?
Like I said, the next year, like you said, the next year they're gonna recruit over you anyway. So
exactly, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But look, man, you like I said earlier, you were back-to-back CIAA Player of the Year. You averaged 22 points a game, 11 rebounds a game. Your senior year, you won the CIAA, your Division II All American. So at this point, the draft comes up. You don't get drafted. So what are you thinking at that point after the draft?
Oh, man, it was crazy because, you know, honestly, me and my agent, you know, they were saying I could be a lottery pick or no late than second round, but they was talking sleeper. You know what I mean? One of those guys that was pretty much Sam Jones and Charlie Neal really pushing me. And but teams knew, you know, that I could be that sleeper like a Dennis Rodman or Charles Oakley that had been missed over. And so after I didn't get drafted, that was kind of like the best thing that could have ever happened to me, because I saw at that point God was saying I could have went to a team, Seattle or somebody drafted me that already had a bunch of bigs that I really didn't fit in. I got cut. So when my agent saw that I didn't get drafted, it gave me the opportunity now to search and see where I can really fit in at. And Miami at the time, like I said, they was an expansion team coming in and they didn't have no bigs and they were young. And so I went down there as a free agent, man, and it was the best opportunity for me.
Wow. Man, when you got there, you were telling that story earlier about, you know, when you got there, they was, you know, cycling and all of them was there, man. You know, how was your experience your first year? Again, another culture shock going from Richmond, Virginia to Miami. How was that?
Oh, man. I know Miami.
Oh, man. The nightlife, for one. I didn't know how I was going to survive. Man. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Virginia and Richmond, I know, you know, we shut down 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, right?
Right.
Down there, they don't come out to 1 or 2. You know what I mean? I'm like, how this gonna work? You know what I'm saying? South Beach, you know what I'm saying? I was like, man, my NBA career gonna be very short, but I'm gonna have a ball this year and
man, you were doing a lot. You had to adjust, like, God damn, man. I mean, you go from South Boston to Richmond to Miami. God damn. Woo.
Yeah.
And then we talking about 89, dog. Miami was still hot. Castro had just not too long let them out. You know what I mean? They was Al Pacino down there for sure. You know what I mean?
For sure, man. For sure.
Oh, man.
Miami was raw when I got down there, dog. It's totally different now. That's what I'm saying. It's more commercialized now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
But when I was down there, it was really raw, man. You know what I mean? But it was total culture shock, man. It totally grew me up fast, man. But you know, the NBA is very supportive, man. You know, they lock you in and they got programs for young guys and more important for me, I just remember so many of my teammates, Billy Thompson, Pat Cummins was an older white guy that played in New York. Those two guys in general, especially Billy. Billy was a man of God, man of Christ, and he was all about taking rookies, man, and bringing them in and trying to get them to stick in the NBA and not get caught up in that nightlife and get caught up outside of, you know, of the focus and what they should really be doing. But, you know, the good part about it, you know, you're home, you know, 40 games and you're on the road 40 games, you know what I mean? Right. And so you're traveling all the time too. So it's not like you know, just in that one city and you're there all day, every day. But like I said, at the end of the day, man, it was a culture shock, but at the same time, man, it was an eye opener, man. And it was you know, I was just thankful and grateful, man. I got to, you know, experience South Beach, and I'm down there, man, and you know, going to practice in shorts and t-shirt every day, man, and just living his life, man, and you know what I mean, just having a ball, man. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, like I said, I went down on a non-guarantee contract, and then Cycling got hurt, so I got the opportunity to start some games, and I was playing well. Then after the season, come back, they still didn't want to give me no guaranteed money.
Wow.
So I came back with it my second year, didn't have no guaranteed money. We give me like 40, 50 grand up front, but then still wasn't guaranteed the whole contract guaranteed. And so same thing, I went down there balling out, got better, was getting strong at the end of the year. They still didn't want to give me no money guaranteed. What? So I was like, I'm done. So me and my agent, we was heading to Italy, and we had a team that was offering me a 2-year deal, and then Dallas came out of nowhere, and they was like, "Yo, man, we'll match the deal." And then my agent was like, "Match the deal?" He was like, "Hell no, he ain't no prostitute. If you want him, goddamn, you better add another 100,000 to it."
Nah, we do more than match.
Yeah, exactly. That's how we got to Dallas.
I like your agent.
Yeah, your agent was nice, man.
Yeah. He went hard. He taught me. So I was like, a couple of times I was like, "Yo, man, hold, you gonna kill the contract?" He's like, "Nah, man, we gotta make that ass sweat." You know what I mean?
Yeah, make that.
And he just taught me the ropes in a lot of those areas, you know.
So when you at that point, man, you in the league, you feel like you belong there at that point. When you got to Dallas, I mean, were you just trying to still prove yourself, or you felt like, okay, I'm gonna be here for a little while?
Nah, man, I was still trying to prove myself because, like I said, I just got there. But the blessing of God, when I got to Dallas, they had Derek Harper and Rolando Black, and they had a whole bunch of veterans there, Mark Wyatt, and I mean, they had so many veterans on that team. You know what I'm saying? Herb Williams. I mean, I could just James Donaldson. All of them was like they were 40 years old or something. You know what I mean? Nobody was young. It seemed like, right?
Yeah.
And but me and Derek Harper, we came like brothers, man. For some reason, man, he took to me as a rookie. He said, "Man, you my rook, and I'm gonna take care of you the whole 9 yards." And I never forget it, man. He makes me cry when I think about it, man, because he seriously, man, took me in. He made me buy a house 2 houses down from him. And I never forget it, man. You can see it for yourself. My second year in Dallas, same thing. They didn't want to give me no money, but they was talking little bull job money that they would give me 1 or 2 year extension. And Derek was like, "Yo, man, don't worry about it. I got you. And I could never understand when you kept saying, I got you. You're going to get paid. You just keep on working, dog. Keep on working." So anyway, we had got a little better, and we played our first TNT game on national television, right? And so I'm nervous as hell, scared as the devil, dog, playing my first game on TNT, you know what I'm saying? The NBA, I know everybody back home looking at me.
Yes, sir.
This and that. And I'm like, man, this is crazy, you know what I'm saying? And so Derek comes to my locker, and like, I was always like, you know, forced to play defense. You know, I could hit the little jumper, this, that, but really didn't, you know, big offensive guy, you know what I mean? More the role player, this. But we playing Atlanta, Dominic, Kevin Willis, John Concact, right? 3-7 footer, right? Woo. That's what they had. And Doc Rivers at the point, and John Battle at the 2 guard, right? It was a tough squad, right? And so Derek comes to my locker. He said, "Yo, man," he said, "Tonight's your night. You say you want to get paid, right?" I said, "What the hell you talking about?" He said, "Yeah, TNT tonight, Nick." I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, we coming to you." I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, we coming to you." Dog, like Derek, like I said, in the NBA, they run plays, they run them any damn play they want to run, right, at any time. But anyway, dog, first play of the game, he called my play, 24, coming to me, right? I'm saying, are you serious going to get John Concact, Dominique, and Kevin Willis? Anyway, make a long story short, dog, my second year with Dallas, that game on TNT that night, I had 36 points, 17 rebounds, and 5 blocks.
What?
God damn.
You can look it up for yourself.
Wow.
36 points, 17 rebounds.
They had to pay you then.
For
you
real?
damn right. We went straight to the table.
She ain't waste no time.
They had to pay you, man. They had to give you that
goddamn,
money.
I was going to Seattle
Right.
as soon as the
I
season
would've
was
said
over.
same
We
damn
knew
thing.
that.
Man.
My agent
You
just
would've
keep
been
your
on that
nose
horse.
clean after that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you got your payday after that, huh?
Oh, yeah. They gave me 5 years after that, dog.
That's what's up, man. Yes,
5 years. They gave me 5 years, 10 million back then.
Yeah,
Shout out to
man.
D Hop for that role, man.
Yeah, Hawk.
100%, dog. Ride or die to the day, man. Both of them, him and Orlando Blackman, man.
Shout out
Sure,
to Ro, man. Shout out to Ro Blackman.
Those veteran guys back then, man, that's what they did, man. They looked out for you, man. It wasn't about them. That's why, I don't like the NBA now, man, because you got a bunch of young, selfish guys, all about them. You know, they ain't trying to pull nobody up. They ain't trying to share the pie, man. But back then, man, you just had a bunch of veterans, and they saw young guys, and they schooled them. And like I came in, and I thought I was coming in there with Timberlands, my jeans and shit on, and thugged out, hat to the back. Derek Howard was like, nigga, no. After practice, meet me. We going to get you some clothes, nigga. I want you to come up here with shirt and tie and fool them if you don't do nothing else.
That's right. That's right. That's
And
right.
that's why I started wearing shirt and tie every day, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it meant something to them, man. You know what I mean?
That's
Well, a lot
awesome.
of guys, we talked to another athlete, Brian Steele, who played in the NFL, and he mentioned, and you mentioned something a few minutes ago, he talked about how the younger players of today's game, football and basketball, they don't, look at the long term of taking care of the veterans, of how selfish they are when it comes to those, like the retirement and all the stuff that you got, going on, man. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's why I hate to hear some of these stories today, with these young athletes and, so many things they involved into. And, it's far beyond, but, like I said, back then, even, so many guys I played with, they were humble brothers, man. And it was just the passion for the game of basketball and the love for the game of basketball. I don't even know if we cared about the money back then like that. Really, we didn't, you know what I'm saying? Because, guys wasn't crying about, they was going to jump ship because they didn't get the money, this, and that. They didn't have enough. But today, it just seems like it's just all about the social media, all about all about the money, all about my brand, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's just no team, and it's no, you know what I mean? I want to pull the next brother up, and even on the court, man, it's just so much selfish play and so much isolation. Man, I can't even watch it. You know what I'm saying? Just come down one screen and pull up a shot. I would hit one of them in the face if I said and nigga, I couldn't even get to the rebound. You know what I mean? You taking food off my table. At least let me get in position to rebound.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Damn. So, it's just different, man. You know what I mean? This is a selfish game, selfish people out there today. We
gonna get into that because I mean you got a front row seat because your son. We're gonna talk about his journey too in a minute. But after Dallas, where did you go? You went to DC right after that, right?
Yeah.
So how was that transition from Dallas? You going to DC where it's closer to home. I'm sure you didn't mind coming closer to home, but what was it like playing in DC?
Yeah, man. Well, go back. Like I said, I told you it's all been about my faith, man. And it's all been about God, enable me to accomplish what I did and get where I am. And so I had retired after I left Dallas. I was done. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, man. I had played 7 years, so I was good, and I wanted to be back and be with my kids. But what happened was I was at Virginia Union working Ben out. And I was getting him ready to go back with the Wizards. So here go God. And preparing him to go back to Wizards, he went back. And so when he went back, George Mirason got hurt and he was out for the year. And so Ben told Wes Unseld that I had been working him out and I was still in some shape. And so Wes called me and said, "Yo, man, you been over here in shape. You want to play?" I said, "Hell yeah." He said, "Yeah, I got 2 years up here." I said, "Wes, I'm on 95 right now." And that's how I got 2 years out of DC, right? Mm-hmm. Same thing, man. I retired again, dog. I was done with basketball, man. I was home chilling with my kids. My son was coming up, in high school, doing his thing. And my teammate with me in Dallas, he was in Denver, George McLeod. Yep. And so, same thing out there. One of the big, Antonio Mathias got hurt. They was out. Nice. They ain't had no big kids. And George insisted on I come to Denver and play. I was like, "George, look, man, I ain't coming to Denver. It's too cold. Bunch this and that out there."
You're talking about George Carl, right? George Carl?
No, George McLeod.
Oh, McLeod. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, George McLeod, shooting guard, played with me in Dallas, played at Florida State. But he was in Denver at the time. And like I said, he called me and was begging me to come out there. But make a long story short, man, it wasn't but the grace of God. And like Jeremiah 29:11 had the plan that God had for my life, because the NBA just gave us free health insurance 2 years ago. Right?
Oh, wow, man. Shout out to the NBA for that.
Oh, yeah, man. Wow. I have to shout hallelujah, man. And,
yes, sir.
Yeah, man. But see, when I looked at the policy, man, it said that if you've been in there 10 years or better, not only it covers you, it covers your family.
Oh,
wow.
How many years did I play?
10 years.
10. How many years I told you after I retired?
7.
What did I say? I didn't even fill out an application, ask for a job. Those last 3 years, it was nothing but the grace of God, dog.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Lying, man. Yes.
And so
that ain't never God working, man.
It's God working. And another thing too, Terry, 2 Virginia Union players, and y'all kind of came back together because you talked about how Oak had that reputation, and that kind of set the groundwork. And then you working Ben out, and then you get a job in DC as 2 Virginia Union. And that's what I love about that. That's real brotherhood right there, bro. You know what I'm saying?
But check this out, though. I get to DC, and I'm thinking I'm bagging up Ben, right? Mm-hmm. Then Wes called me and said, "No, we gonna need you to start, right?"
What?
Yeah, because he a little timid, right? So I'm like, "Are you serious?" So I'm like, "Ben," they say, "Dog, you a little timid." So I realized in exhibition when we was playing Karl Malone or somebody, he was a little timid, right? And so I was like, "Ho, time out." And so we go into the regular season. We play in Orlando and Shaq coming into town, right?
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's what the hell I said. And so I told him, I said, "Look, Ben, the only way we're going to step up and get our man tonight, right? Look, I got 6 fouls and you got 6.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
I'm going to give up all of mine early. So you can come in and then finish up. Right? So I'm going to give mine. So this game is going to be yours pretty much. You understand what I'm saying? To shine with Shaq. And dog, he'll tell you, and even to this day, we hacked the hell out of him that game, right? And I never forget it. I came down, first couple players game, he tried to go up and dunk. I took his whole arm, head, and everything to the floor, right? Wasn't even thinking about the ball. That's how we played back then. You know what I'm saying? And so Ben came in the game, same thing. Boom, got a dunk on him, got a block shot on him. I saw his enthusiasm go up. Make a long story short, after the game, Shaq said, if anybody else in the league foul him like that, he gonna Shaq through their ass.
that sound like Shaq.
That sound like what so Shaq was saying. Yeah, man, that's crazy, bro.
So I started, man, that whole year. Ben played behind me.
Wow.
That's only right, though. You mentoring him and you training him, working him out.
Right.
But look, before we move on, Larry, I know you got a question, bro, but I always ask my guests, our guest this, man. Like,
yes.
You grew up humble beginnings, man. You said you grinded your whole life. Was there ever a moment, Terry, where you were sitting on the bench or playing in the game during a timeout and you like, I'm in the mother freaking NBA, bro? Like, did it ever hit you? Like, from where I came from to now, I'm in the league. Was there ever a time where you had to pinch yourself? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, dog, man. My rookie year, we were playing Carolina. Okay, I'm sorry. We were playing the Chicago Bulls in the opening of the Dean Dome.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay. Exhibition game. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So Black Jesus is coming home, right?
Oh, Lord.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
We
So,
ain't even go to any of those stories, so that's another thing. Go ahead.
Woo.
Far beyond crazy, dog. And you know, you heard the whole Jordan and Carolina, this, that. But like I said, he coming back home. We playing this exhibition game in the Dean Dome. And so, like I said, I had seen him on TV and heard him the whole 9 yards. And like I said, I was starting because Cycli got hurt. Right. And so I go out there to the center of the jump ball, and he comes out there. Like I said, the crowd is going crazy and this and that. And so I look at him, and at that moment,
right,
that's when I was like, wow, I'm really in the NBA.
You in the league.
Yeah, I'm in the league for real. I don't know how Michael Jordan stamped it, but
I love it.
That's what kind of stamped it for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then so game start going boom, boom. So he come down the middle, dog. I go up. I said, damn it, I got this one, right? Dog, he switched that joint so fast on me and flushed it and came down. He come down, I get up, he get up off the floor. He said, damn, I thought y'all had cable at Virginia Union.
Oh, so he knew? See, that's what I heard Jordan would do stuff like that. He
man. He said, damn, you ain't seen this shit before? I said, come on,
exactly.
Man.
You know better.
You know better.
Yeah.
But that was your I'm in the NBA moment. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you pitch yourself like, I'm in the league. I'm playing against Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so I had to catch myself because I was almost like starstruck, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And for a minute, I was like, "Oh, no, hey, this is a job. This ain't Black Jesus for real." You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy, man. Like I said, man, I always ask people that because like a lot of people they'll say, "Oh no, man, I'm in the moment and I ain't thinking about that." But for you to say that, you know what I mean, to be honest and be like, look, you know what? At one point, I did kind of sit back and say, you know what? You know, I came from Danville, South Boston, but I made it. And they go Jordan. You know what I mean? You used to see Jordan on TV
for real.
and he playing against the dude. You know what I mean? So like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I froze.
That's crazy, man.
Like,
that's crazy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, that's crazy, man. That's crazy.
One quick question: LeBron or Jordan? I already know what the answer is gonna be. LeBron or Jordan? Or do you like hearing those type of comparisons? When they, you know, because you know we just got to just bring it up. It's one show, so we just got to do it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, how I like to answer that, man, I hear that question a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think Kobe gave the most profound answer to that question, you know, and they asked him, you know, and they tried to beat it out of him a lot, you know what I mean, before LeBron came in, were you greater than Jordan? And Kobe, you know, just trying to remember as much as I can, he said, you know, I watched Michael, you know, growing up as a kid, and he said he never seen anything like him. I mean, he was the greatest he had ever seen. He said everything that Michael Jordan did, he patterned himself behind him.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He said, so if you saw Michael Jordan, you saw him.
You saw that, you know, the him
Absolutely.
Jay fade away.
You see what I'm saying?
All that Kobe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, people don't put Kobe in that conversation, man.
Kobe, man. He was more Jordan than LeBron.
Yeah, rest in peace,
well, that's
Kobe,
what I'm saying,
man.
dog.
Peace,
if Kobe can't say it, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
This dude, I mean, I love LeBron, but one thing about Kobe and Jordan, man, they had something in them in the fourth quarter, dog, that, you know, you just, you knew if you were sitting at your house and on that couch, and it was, 5 minutes to go in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Number 24 and number 8 was going to come with it. You know what I mean?
That's right.
With LeBron, you know what I'm saying? That's the only difference I see in him. And then the difference I see too is, like, I remember LeBron, his rookie year against San Antonio, and Kawhi just ate him alive.
He did.
Oh, yeah.
And Kawhi was a rookie. You understand what I'm saying? And I mean, he just went at him. See, that would have never happened with Jordan. Not with no rookie.
Right.
No,
right.
Not with no damn rookie. Maybe a little on in his career. But Jordan would have made a statement with him as a rookie. And that's what I saw with him and Kobe. They wanted to have 60, and they didn't want you to have a 2.
Exactly.
He's right. Yeah,
but LeBron, he don't care. It seems like, you know what I'm saying? You can have 40 as long as he get 50. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. That's it, man. So look, Terry, you play your 10 years
with
the greats.
Go ahead.
Yeah, with the grace of God, you played 10 years. You retired at 7, played the extra 3 years. What you thinking at that point, Terry? After your 10th year, I mean, are you thinking about the work, getting something outside of basketball, or in basketball? What's your thought process at that point once you're thinking about retiring from the NBA?
Yeah, well, it was just, ironic, man. My son was coming up right at my retirement, you know what I mean? And he was coming up through high school. And so it was the perfect opportunity for me to have the time just to totally dedicate it to him.
Right.
And prepare him for the next level. And at the same time, I came back and coach / got my student degree at Virginia Union. And I retired in 2001. I was working with him, and then 2003 to 2005, dog. In my assistant coaching at Virginia Union, we won back-to-back CIAA championships and a national championship.
That's right.
Sure did.
That's right.
Wow. That's right.
In my 3 years assistant coaching there. And so I wanted to come back and give back to the university, awesome. For what they did for me and Coach Robbins. And that was one thing I always knew that I wanted to do, is come back and, and just share with kids and instill some of what God gave to me and just give back to the university. And I had crazy fun with it, man, working with those kids and just hearing them today growing up and having their little families and hitting me up on Facebook and telling me, how much they appreciate me sharing my knowledge with them and passing it down with them, man. It means the world to me, you know what I mean, that I had the opportunity to do that with a lot of those brothers. But, that was in the necessary, man. I had secured my money pretty well, from the NBA. I never lived a lavish life. You know what I mean? I come from humble beginnings, so I never wanted for much. And, so I was okay on the financial side, but, I just really wanted to give back. And then with my son, I really wanted to make sure he had what he needed to get to the next level, because I saw that, he had just far more potential and talent than I had.
Yeah, I remember, speaking of going into your son, man, I remember my first time seeing him was at Benedictine when Hanover played Lansdowne at Benedictine. And I remember seeing him, they was playing, one of those boys was playing football. I want to say Percy Harvey was playing.
Percy Harvey, yeah.
Percy Harvey, Percy Harvey was playing. And I remember, Ed was playing for Hanover and watching him, man. Talk about his experience, at Hanover before he switched over to private side at Benedictine.
Yeah, well, we had moved out to Hanover because it was a new school and a bigger school. And my daughter, which is 2 years older than Ed, we was wanting her to go out there also. But, we were just out in the county, man, and we wanted him to be out there and really get and see could he adjust to the public atmosphere, because actually he had went to private school all his life. And so that was really his first experience. Both of the kids were public school. And so, but they wanted to get out the uniform and go to public school. So we decided, we felt comfortable with them going to Hanover. And so he got there, and it was just the opposite, man. What we realized was, he was out there with all these kids and they was just almost making him this little god, you know what I mean? Yeah, man.
Wow.
And they just idolizing him, you know what I'm saying, and blowing his head up. And so that's what we saw, that we need to get him out of that environment and get him into a small environment where he can really focus. And he didn't realize that I really wanted him to go to Benedictine for that military piece to, like I said, discipline him and keep him humble and get the girls away from him. And that was my, main thing. I want to get him out of Hanover to get him to Benedictine, was all boys school, and just have him main focus on, his books and basketball, and the girls wouldn't be in his ear every day. And like I said, just, 5,000, 3,000 students versus, 200 students is a big difference. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the whole premise of him,
Man, that's
getting him out of the public atmosphere.
That's interesting, man. Because it wasn't a competition; it was just what he was going through with the popularity and just humbling, bringing him back. That's so crazy.
Even the teachers, man. The teachers want to give him some, and
oh my
God,
man. So
like,
hey,
man, hold on,
time
out,
see?
You know what I mean? Let us know you got a dad first. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
You got a father in the house.
Yeah, you don't got to worry about that.
Yeah.
But look, man, so I know he leaned on you a lot because you went through the whole recruiting process. Like you said earlier, you signed with Georgia early on. So his options, I know Carolina is where he went, but what was that whole recruiting process like for him? And what did you tell him about that whole thing? You know what I mean? Because he was number 2 in the country. He was top 10 and 5-star recruit. Like, what were some of the things you were telling him about the whole recruiting process?
Dog, it was honestly, man, it was crazy. It was far beyond what we ever imagined. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't ever think that it'd be Duke, Carolina, Kentucky, and Georgetown, and Connecticut, and Jim Calhoun calling me personally, and Roy calling me personally, and Jordan calling me personally, and all these people calling. Man. You know what I mean? Just former teammates that went to all these universities trying to recruit them, and I'm like, it was far beyond what I had ever seen, you know what I mean? Because now, the money part was coming into effect, you know what I mean? They trying to persuade and pursue us with the money, this and that, and I'm like, yo, man, you can't sell me, you know what I'm saying? And he ain't no prostitute neither. We got money, you know what I mean? That ain't the reason why we trying to come there. So you can't sell us on that.
Right.
But the main reason that he went to Carolina, I love Connecticut and Calhoun, and he would have he was right there going there because of Kemba Walker. Him and Kemba Walker played AAU together, and
Kemba
so
was a dog. Kemba dog, man. Kemba
so him and Kemba was gonna go to Connecticut together. Wow. You see what I'm saying?
Well, that would have been a nice combo, man.
Yeah, but what I saw was I loved Hansborough in Carolina.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And I knew that Hansborough would be the only person in the country that would prepare him for the NBA. Okay. And I just thought in my mind that Hansborough would beat the hell out of him in practice every day. And not even that, when they got on the floor, he would show him that leadership and guide him to the next level. And so I was able to convince him.
Terry, before you move on, that's what that being you playing in the league, people don't see why he would go to exactly. You know what I'm saying? You seeing little things like that about Harrisburg making him better and making him a leader
Right.
later on in life. Nobody would see something little like that, man. But you played in the league that helped him out a lot, man. That's dope, man.
Yeah, because I love Hansborough work ethic, you know what I mean?
Right.
And if I knew that if he got under him and he was around him every day, he would, you know what I'm saying? And Hansborough would pull him up under, and it did, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, you know, I've already told him you didn't have to be a starter down there. You can come off the bench and still go into the NBA, because the kid Williams had did it the year before, you know what I'm saying? And a couple of years before. And so I had already sold him on that. So I just needed him, you know, because, you know, that was the only thing. He could go in Connecticut and play right away, you know what I'm saying? But I was like, yo, man, you get the national championship, you can play on the Hansborough, you can leave after your sophomore year, and you already know you good.
Oh, wow.
See, that's the kind of knowledge you get for somebody who played in the league, though. Little stuff like that, man. Yeah. That's what he did. That's what he did, right? Because he had Brandon Wright, a couple of guys that were with him. The point guard from Maryland, Ty Lawson was there too. Yeah. So
they had a squad: Lawson and Wayne Ellington and Danny Green and Deion Thompson.
Yeah. Nice squad.
Ty Zeller.
Man, y'all was stacked,
man. All NBA
they had a postcard, dog. They went up Michigan State, dog, and Jordan Magic and all of us were there, and because Magic went to Michigan State,
yes, sir.
Dog, they had about 30 at halftime.
Yeah, squad, man. All NBA guys on that team. So.
Exactly.
Man, you see, that's that NBA brotherhood too, man, that we didn't even get to talk about, man. That you know, like I said, you played in the league and you know, on the sideline with Jordan and Magic and stuff like that, man. That had to be like exciting. I mean, for me, I don't know, man. I just probably still just be a kid in my body, even as a grown man, you know, just standing there with those guys, you know.
Yeah, man, it was, dog. It was kind of amazing to, you know, kind of relive it through my son and, you know, running to Vince Carter and all those guys and see him at the games and even Billy Cunningham, that was a Carolina alum. He was the GM with the Miami Heat when I was there. You see what I mean?
Wow.
And now here we 20 years later, my son signs with Carolina, you know what I mean? And just a relationship, you know, small world, man. And like I said, from Kenny Smith to all those guys, you know, just, you know, reliving it through my son and you know, the former Tar Heels and me getting the opportunity to get some of that Carolina in my blood and it was a beautiful ride, man. You know what I mean?
I'm sure.
And like you just said, see it from another angle.
I got one question for you, you know, in regards to Ed. And I guess it's dear to my heart because, you know, my son played in private school. What would you rate the private school competition for Benedictine during that time Ed was there? Meaning that did Ed play a lot of top competition compared to the public schools during the time he was there?
Yeah. Well, see, I don't know if you remember, they played Oak Hill. And Oak
Brandon
Hill
Jennings?
Yeah. And they were number one in the country.
I remember that game.
Yeah, and they played them at the Robins Center. And they beat them. You understand what I'm saying? And so that was the beauty. See, when Ed got to Benedictine, and they had a couple other guys, they had a nice squad too. But being that they was private, every other school in the country was wanting to play them and wanting to match them up with their big. So he was getting the opportunity to play against all the talent around the country. You know what I'm saying? And that's the difference in being in the private school versus the public. See, public, a lot of times you just locked in and you're not going to play but whoever in that whole year in that region. But see, they was going up to New Jersey and playing Tyree and all of them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And whatever tournament they can get in, and they was getting in and running into some of everybody and everything. You know what I mean? And so he was getting it. You know what I mean? Which was up in his his rankings and everything
yeah.
because you see what I'm saying? When he played those schools, like when they beat Oak Hill, that just shot his rankings up the chart. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No, that's what's up, man. Go ahead, Wolby.
Now I was just gonna say, man, like this is like again, we talk, man. This is an awesome interview, man. We appreciate you coming on, and you got so much knowledge, and I'm just curious to know, like, what I mean, you said you didn't really watch the NBA now, but as a post player and a big man, they always talk about the lack of bigs now. All these guys are shooting threes. What's your perspective on a big man now in the NBA and in the college and high school as well? Like,
good question.
You were a bruiser and you played D, you played hard, but now these bigs, the stretch fours and the five, and not really. You got Gasol and you got a couple other bigs in the league. Embiid sometimes plays down low, but what's your perspective on the big man now?
Give me the Joker.
Joker's nice.
Give me the goddamn Joker.
See?
The Joker is the problem.
That's close to your heart too, huh? I see.
Yeah, man.
That's my dude right there, yo.
Yeah, that man can play. That man can play.
Just give me the Joker. That's the ideal game. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? He'll shoot the three, but Joker want to punish you.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? Joker ain't coming with that bull job every night.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Joker can play.
Yeah.
He's different, man. He different.
He our type of player, you know what I mean? That's type of players we played with back in the day, you know what I'm saying? And he just that old school type of player, you know what I mean? He go inside when he need to, you know what I mean? When they double him, he step out, get his game, pass, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, that's what I try to express. You can be big, you can shoot the three, you can be versatile in today's game. But damn, get down there and get 20 rebounds too.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Punish some people while you
Zion
do it.
Williamson, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Zion, yeah.
Shaq always tell you do 30. What Shaq always say, you need to give me 28 and 15.
Yeah, this nigga getting 30 and 6. I'm like, dude, that ain't no numbers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You ain't putting in no work. You know what I mean? You know, in honest, you supposed to be getting 30 and 20. And 18, you know what I'm saying? Then, you know what I mean, you talk in a good night game, but you know, they happy with 30 and 6 and 5 and 7 rebounds, you know what I'm saying? But you know, we was high on doubles back then for bigs, you know what I mean? You wanted to get 20 points and 15 rebounds a game, you know what I'm saying? And that was for a team's sake, you know, not just for you. You know what I mean? You had to rebound for the team, you know what I mean, in order to win. But these cats, they don't want the grind, man. They don't want to mix it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Look,
man. Good question. I'm gonna get one more question, Booby. We're gonna
let you. We're gonna let you go. But one quick question. Man. Quick couple questions left. But the Duke freshman, I gotta ask you this.
Yes,
Jalen Johnson
please ask that question.
Yeah, Jalen Johnson from Duke. I don't know if you read, Terry. He ended up opting out the rest of the season, and I know how you talked about the one and dones was a joke, but if one of your players said, "Look, man, the middle of February, said, look, man, I'm gonna go ahead and just roll out of here. I'm getting ready for the NBA." What would you do back then when you played? Like if you was in college, let's say you was even if you were a Union, and guy said, "Look, man, I'm gonna go ahead and roll out of here, man, in the middle of the season like that."
Man, you know, it's almost like, you know, I don't even know how the NBA can trust them. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was saying.
You
know, and in high school, I think he left. What, Larry?
IMG. He left and went back to his home school. See, this is the thing. I'm gonna give you something. I'm gonna add to what Whoopi said, so you can answer the question. Duke talked about this brotherhood, and they was recruiting all these guys, all these top guys going there, and then all of a sudden, you know, you expected Duke to be Duke, and then when Duke don't be Duke, I'm always be pro player. You know what I'm saying? I'm with you guys, but at the same time, when you got guys talking about brotherhood and they recruiting each other there, and the season don't go as it planned, and then you, like you said, you're gonna roll up and say, "Okay, man, I'm excited to go to the NBA." So we win together, we lose together, but now you're gonna break out and kind of concentrate on going to the pros in the middle of the season. And I know a lot of guys, and Draymond talked about this too, about nothing happened to the coaches can leave what they want, which I totally agree with. But the player, gets a lot of flack for that. So again, to answer Wooby's question, how do you feel about that?
I just think, like I said, man, on every level, there's no loyalty anymore. You know what I'm saying? They just they're not loyal to what they signed up to, what they agreed to. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't working out, just finish the season out. You know what I'm saying? And in my life, man, in Oakley or Ben, and that's what Virginia Union teaches, man. It's the struggle. You know what I'm saying? It's the hard times that makes you that player, makes you that person. You know what I mean? It's the difficult times, it's the different things you go through. But these kids, they can't go through anything. You know what I mean? They see, Duke, they ain't winning like they, normally they ain't national champions contenders. So he's selling out. You know what I mean? Exactly. And that's the way of the world today. You know what I mean? And if kids can't get what they want, they can't get it right now. And even in the NBA, you just hear about it every day. You know what I mean? They want to trade. They want to, you know what I mean? They don't like it here. You know what I mean? They ain't getting enough shots. You know what I mean? I don't know how many times Westbrook gonna get traded before he done.
Man. I know your son talks about that because he's still playing right now, right? What team is he with now?
Yeah, Minnesota.
Minnesota.
So he with Anthony Towns and over there. Number one Edwards, the number one pick. Number one pick was over there. Yeah. I know he got to stay warm up in Minnesota though, all that cold weather and snow though, man. How you liking it over there?
Yeah, he in his 11th year, man. So you know what I mean? And then, like I tell people when they say, you're on a sorry team or it's cold or it's far away and how do you handle it? You just go to the bank.
That's right. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, that's so true. That's so true.
Question.
Especially
it still put a smile on your face, right?
Yeah, it will. Things could be a lot better. Yeah.
I got a 2-part question. We're gonna let you go unless Wooby got something else. Why do you think Ben Wallace hasn't been got into the Hall of Fame yet? And do you think will he ever get in?
Yeah. I just think it's his due time. You know what I mean? You look at it, man. There's some great guys, man, that's before him. You know what I mean? That haven't even been in for years. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a matter of time. You know what I mean? I don't. A lot of times, like for me, and before you go, like, I couldn't understand why they didn't put me in the CIAA. You know what I mean? Hall of Fame into 2017, right?
Okay, right.
I retired in 2001, but it took them 17 years to put me in there.
That's ridiculous.
And so,
that's ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
Let me show you what happened to me just in my faith and my walk. So,
okay.
I was going down there every year, and I realized, they're putting all these bombs in there, and I'm saying, God, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Man, it's gotta be one of the funniest. Man, oh my God.
Yeah, man. I mean, they got no type of
man.
numbers. You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
They have 10 points, 10 rebounds, but somehow they got in, right? And so, but when they called me, I was going to first kind of protest and not go this and that but what happened was, when they called and said they was going to induct me in, that morning I was walking through my living room floor, and the good Lord stopped me in the middle of the floor. And he said, now, if I would have given you that trophy back in 2001, what would you have said when you got up on that podium?
That's a good point. Good point.
And I said, Lord, I thank you that you didn't give it to me then, because I would have got up there and I did this. But I was grateful, dog, that he gave it to me 3 years ago, because I was able to give him the glory and let them know that this wasn't all me that made this possible. And that's why I say I don't know what God is doing with Ben, But I just know in that situation with me, I couldn't understand why I didn't go in and wasn't in, but God wanted the glory, man.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Great answer. Great answer.
But I was gonna say, but you did get in the Virginia Union Hall of Fame. What was that honor like, man? Like to get, you went to being in the Hall of Fame that you went to a school with and grinded with your brothers, man. And when you finally got the call for Union, what was that like? What was that honor like for you?
Oh, that sending chills down my body, man. There's no other honor I can get outside of Virginia Union because that's where it all started for me. They gave me the opportunity.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was Coach Robbins that prepared me. And so to be able, even in that class, now don't get me wrong, dog, we're not just talking about no bull jive Hall of Fame. Let's get this mistaken. Virginia Union got some soldiers that been through that, dog, on both sides, on the football field, basketball, and I mean true soldiers, you know what I'm saying, that went before me. And so for me to know that, my kids will see my name in that hall, it just touches my heart, man, to know that, I'd be dead and gone, and my grandkids know that the grandfather, he went here, and not only he went here, but his name is left on the wall, man.
That's dope, man. That's crazy. That's legacy,
man. We talk about it all the time, man. That's the small things that, we tend to forget about,
Yes, sir.
You can go to somebody's school and see somebody put, that's my dad, or that's my granddad, or that's my mom, or somebody like that. You're right.
Right.
Well, look, Terry, man, this is a truly honor, man, for you to be, spend your afternoon and evening with us, man, and we really appreciate you hopping on, man. We really do. It's an honor, and we humbled, man, that you came on our podcast, my man. We appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man, I had a ball, man. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. You know what I mean? And hopefully,
man,
you know what I mean, we can make it different. Huh?
Those Dave Robbins impersonations for a trip, bro. Like,
oh my God.
No, dog, I've been with him so long,
one of the
man.
Funniest, man.
You know what I mean? It's crazy, you know what I mean? He's like a father to me, man, honestly, and that's just a relationship. And if I can't mimic nobody else, I can definitely mimic him. You know what I mean?
You got him down packed, man.
Yeah, you do. But I want people to understand, like, what I want people to get out of this interview though is like your humble beginnings. You grinded. You never doubted yourself. You kept grinding. You made it to the highest level. From South Boston, Virginia, man, and it's like I said. Obviously, you didn't do it by yourself. You had people to help you, and that goes unnoticed. You got a lot of people you want to thank, but man, this interview was amazing. Like, just to hear your story from where you came from to where you are now. Your son is still in the league. He was an All American in college as well. So, I mean, this is amazing, man. We really appreciate this, and we're gonna post this up, and we're gonna make sure people understand that Terry Davis, he's an All American. He's a good athlete, and he's a Hall of Famer too, man. We want people to know, what you did,
comedian.
Man. And a comedian too at that.
Oh, that's highly appreciated.
Comedian,
but Terry, seriously though, we appreciate you coming on, man. We really do, man. It's honored and humbled, man. Seriously.
Yeah, y'all be blessed, man. Stay in touch, dog.
Yes, sir.
Always, thank you, man. We appreciate it, man. I'm still nervous, man. I'm serious, man. I'm dead serious, man. I don't even know what to say, bro. Man. I just want to just thank God and everybody else for the opportunity for you to share your stories with us, man.
Yes,
thank
sir,
you.
Man. Appreciate it.
Man. And hopefully, man, when my son come back this summer, I can't catch him now. Hopefully, I can get him, to get on with y'all, man.
Oh yeah, that'll be great.
Oh, man.
That'll be great.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? That would be great.
Yeah, I got y'all number, so when I get them tied down, man, I try to get them with y'all, all right?
All right, we appreciate it,
Terry. We'll definitely stay in touch with you, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, do that. All right, be blessed, dog.
All right, man. Take it easy,
you too.
Appreciate
all right.
Sponsored by Transitions Empowerment.